name is Gwen Hemphill.
Hi,
And
Gwen.
I'm glad
I
you're away.
was a victim of the fibroid tumors. I had them for maybe about 3 or 4 years, but I had a spell of bleeding for an entire year. The blessed part about that is that my hemoglobin and none of that was affected by it. But it was just very uncomfortable with so much bleeding every day.
What was the
And
problem?
I went to hot fibroid tumors. So I went to the doctor, and he told me that it was just common in black women to have them. So I said, okay, well, what are we gonna do about them? So he gave me prescribed some medicine for me to take that I didn't know what it was gonna do. He didn't say it was gonna get rid of them. I didn't know if it was just gonna ease up the bleeding or if it was gonna ease up the pain or what. But me being the type of person that I am, believing in herbs, I didn't take the medicine. I got the prescription filled, I did some research on it, and it was a no-no to me. It was too many side effects that was gonna happen. So I didn't do it. I went to the health food store instead. And there I learned about the plum balls. And then I got with Dr. Vincent because there was something still yet that was missing. So I got on that program with the plum balls. But prior to that, after leaving that doctor, I went to another doctor, and she told me that I needed a total and complete hysterectomy. Well, I told her I wasn't a candidate for that. I came here with it, I'm gonna leave with it. That's just my thought for me. And whatever was ailing me, I believe that something could be done about it, minus them cutting on me and just messing me up, totally throwing me into being a victim for heart disease. So she wanted to give me a total complete hysterectomy. But at first, when I went to her, what she was going to do, she was going to go in and remove the tumors. That's what she went in, but she didn't remove them. She said that I had one the size of a grapefruit, one the size of a golf ball, one the size of an orange. And if she took the one out, the grapefruit size one, that she wouldn't have anything to sew back together, and so therefore she would have to give me a hysterectomy. Well, the conversation I had with her prior to that was that there's not going to be any hysterectomies with me. So we had that understanding before I went under the knife, which she got in there and I guess remembered what I said, and instead of her doing a complete hysterectomy, I woke up and still had everything. So she told my parents that I needed to have a total complete hysterectomy. She turned around in the same breath and says, well, she can have a partial. Well, partial meant that I'm going to be back in another 6 or 7 months. Right. With more problems, and then you're going to do another surgery on me for $15,000 for taking that knife out. Okay, so I started doing research, finding out that they do 370,000 hysterectomies a year that don't need to be done. What are they doing with all these organs? Okay, so if we don't start studying and looking up and trying to take care of yourself and getting into these programs like we're getting with these natural herbs, it's nobody's fault but your own. You know, I can't sugarcoat it for you. But to make a long story short, I still got everything, and them tumors is gone. And I released those tumors. I went to a choir rehearsal, and I walked in the door, and I felt like a little tear, which was like a little cramp. And I didn't know what it was, so I kept on walking, and after a while, I started kind of feeling some fluids. And I was like, oh my God. So I got up to the choir stand, and I stood like this the whole time in choir, which was an hour and a half. I waited till everybody walked down off of the platform to leave the building, and then I walked. And I just took my time and walked because I felt the liquid. I didn't know what it was. And I got in the bathroom, and that thing came out. And it was about the size of a plum. And I could tell how it bursted. It bursted from the inside out. And what happened was the plum balls and this program shrunk the tumor down because it has a liquid inside of it. And it shrunk it, so it forced it to burst from the inside out. And I did that, and then about a week later, I passed 2 of them at home. So I stand here today before you, fibroid free.